I have another question, which is, okay, now I know that how you can see people on LinkedIn and what are you expecting. But let's think, okay, you are the role owner, like you are searching people for a role, but you have this role on the LinkedIn. So it will appear as the role and the specifications, requirements, and everything. And you sometimes it also appears the person, like the HR person that is ruling that specific role. Is it a good idea to try to talk to the person if, okay, I'm very interested on that, I really think that my capabilities and my the responsibilities you are asking is a real good match? Is it a good idea to talk to the HR person? And if it is, how can we do that and be like someone that that HR will respond?
For sure. So I think today, in today's environment, applying in general is tough. Each job posting has not 10 or 20 applicants, but they've got hundreds of applicants, right? If you apply to a job that's 4 or 5 days old, they might have 500 applicants already, right? So to stand out is very tough by just applying. So everything we've spoken to so far talks about when someone looks at your profile, this is what they want to see. But we haven't spoken about how to get someone to look at your profile,
Yeah.
right? And I think there's a fine line there. So I think one thing is to differentiate yourself. So to have a resume, have a clean, robust resume, nothing too wordy, fairly standard to, for instance, the Canadian market, right? With your LinkedIn profile and all your different links. I've spoken to you about this before, even, but having tangible results of what you've done and actionable plans of, I've implemented this front end website, which generated twice as many leads for this role, or twice as many applicants, for instance, or I'm working on an e-commerce. I built a new e-commerce site. Before they had 2,000 monthly visitors. Now they have 10,000 monthly visitors, right?
Okay.
So to have tangible results of what your efforts have done, right? Speaking about how to network, the first thing I would do if I find a company that I'm interested in, maybe I've worked in a similar industry before or a very similar project before where I feel like I can add value, I would look to see if I know anyone working at that company yet
Okay.
already. If you have someone that's worked at that company, it may be a better channel to go through them, right? Because first off, a lot of companies will give internal referrals, right? So if an employee refers someone, they actually might get a paid day off or $1,000 or whatever, reward that they
Yeah.
give internally. At the same time, if someone internally refers someone, HR almost has to speak to them because otherwise they feel obliged to speak to them. So at the very least, going through someone to get that phone call will increase the chances of someone speaking with you. Even if you don't get the job, at least you've spoken to someone internally, which will get you there. So if you know someone at these companies, I would definitely leverage that experience or that connection and try to go in through there. If you don't know anybody, it's not a bad idea to reach out to HR, but come up with something clever. Do some research on the company, understand the market that they're in, read a couple of articles about what happened with the company that you can leverage that in the message out to them. Right? You could reach out to the hiring manager if you think you know who the hiring manager is, and or you could reach out to the HR. It depends which approach you want. But for instance, if you see a front-end developer posting up and you see the manager of front end web development on LinkedIn, you could reach out to them. And then you also see an article saying that they just raised 20 million in funding in July of this year. You could reach out and say, hi Manny, I know that you're hiring, or I see the posting up here that you're hiring. I know there's an HR responsible for this, but I want to congratulate you guys on the recent round of funding. I see you're in the e-commerce
Yeah.
space. Here's my personal profile. I've done something similar, for instance. Trying to gauge interest and trying to gauge spark a conversation will again have them someone at least look at your resume, right? Look at your LinkedIn
Perfect.
profile, and when they look at it, they can then decide if they want to interview you or not.
Perfect. That's great. Yeah, this kind of things will make sure if you are the next person to be like on the interview or not, right? That's some of the things that I say here on the channel, and people are a little bit like tired of hearing me saying is that you need to make something different, right? You need to make people pay attention to what you're saying. So the way you're doing that is making this kind of things different. And there is a lot of people, mainly in Brazil, I feel like that because maybe here in Canada is a little bit different, but in Brazil, people are a little bit concerned of talking to other people on LinkedIn because they are afraid of, oh, the guy will, it's working, I'm going to be bothering him. But what I like to say is that I don't know if I am a manager and I already interviewed people for Lexop and for other companies, And if I am the recruiter or if I am the manager or something like that, and I want someone for that position, if the person who what I'm asking on the requirements or it's close what I'm asking and it's coming to me to talk about the position, it means that that person really cares about it. As a manager, I would love to have this person working for me because he came to me to talk about it. That will make me feel like he really wants that job and will make the difference inside.
He also takes initiative and is not scared to do stuff. So yeah,
Perfect.
and if you think about it, cold calling someone, so if they had your number and calling you during the day, it would bother you. But shooting you a message, you don't have to answer right away. I've got
Perfect.
now 5, 6 messages waiting. I'm not answering them, right? So it's okay when you have time, either on the train home, on the bus home, on your walk home, I don't know, in between lunch or between meetings, that's when you'll catch up on these. And you're right. If someone reaches out to you that's relevant for the role, that shows their profile and makes, gets your interest. On the other side, it's like, okay, this person knows what they're doing. I was looking to hire for this. The posting is up there. Either I go through the portal and there's 500 applicants, or I go on my LinkedIn messages. There might be 5, 10 messages, but yours comes up. So the chances of me seeing your resume, seeing your LinkedIn profile, and engaging with you is higher than just another resume in the inbox.
Perfect. Great. Thank you for reinforce that because I say that
Yes,
so
yes.
many times and it's hard to people understand that. But thank you very much.